Good evening. Um, trying to keep my composure because I'm really, really upset right now. I really want to say a lot of bad things right now, and I can't. What's making it even harder is these kittens are tearing up my ankles right now. No, over there and play. I will get Whisker's butt out of your way here in a second. I'm just sharing links real quick. I cannot wrap my head around how this is even a thing. I don't understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand the concept of confessional. Okay. I understand it. I get it. It is supposed to be between you, your priest, and God. I don't believe that I have to go through a priest to confess my sins. I believe that I can talk directly to God and work it out with Him, in my opinion. But hi Jay, hi Knights, good to see you. Nice to have you here. I'm Chris, the Sasquatch. This is my main channel. We talk about a lot of stuff over here. And when something really bugs me, I will hop on here like I am tonight to express my feelings on it. The Catholic Church has a very horrible past of protecting people who harm children. And it's not just the Catholic Church. There's lots of churches who have been involved in this problem. And it honestly makes me sick. It makes me want to do ungodly things. I'll be honest with you. There's my confession for the night. I have had very bad thoughts go through my head, and I wanted to make sure that I had everything set up for this so that I can share it with you, and go through the facts of the article with you, and then I'll see what you guys have to say about it at the end. But when it comes to protecting kids, sorry, I'm answering a question here real quick. But yeah, when it comes to kids and protecting children, there are certain things that I think take away from their right to privacy during confession. If you murder somebody and you confess it to a priest, I think that priest should have to discuss that with, or should have to report that. Plain and simple. If you hurt a child and you confess it to your priest, I think your priest should have to you should have to report that. Washington State has actually passed a law, and don't get me wrong, this is the last thing I ever thought I'd be doing is defending Washington State of all things. Right? They're way out there on a lot of stuff. But let me pull this up and we'll start going through stuff here. That's not what was supposed to pop up. Chester. Thank you. Okay, this is from Fox News. The headline says Catholic Church to excommunicate priests for following Washington law requiring child abuse confessions to be reported. Anybody else see the problem here? Am I the only one? Am I wrong in my way of thinking here? Let me go to page 2 here. There are 6 pages that we're going to read. Page 2 says the Catholic Church announced that priests will be excommunicated if they follow a new Washington state law requiring clergy to report confessions about child abuse to law enforcement. Catholic clergy may not violate the seal of confession, or they will be excommunicated from the church, the Archdiocese of Seattle said in a statement. All Catholics must know and be assured that their confessions remain sacred, secure, confidential, and protected by the law of the church. The law of the church does not supersede the law of man in situations like this. There is nothing in the Bible that says that you get protected because you're confessing. I agree. Nice. And Jay says only the guilty have issues with this. Unfortunately, it's an entire church doctrine at this point, and unless the Pope comes out and says something against it, which I'm pretty sure he won't, the Pope will probably back this 100% because, well, the Pope has a bad rap with that because, back in 92, 93 or something like that, he protected a child abuser in Chicago, kept him in the parsonage that was 100 yards from a school, and did not inform anyone. So yeah, I don't think the Pope's going to be much help here. Page 3. The new law signed by Democrat Governor Bob Ferguson last week added members of the clergy to a list of professionals who are required to report information that relates to child abuse or neglect to law enforcement, and the measure does not provide an exception for information offered at a confession booth. It doesn't matter where you hear it at. If somebody comes to you and says, I'm doing this to a child, you need to take that seriously. That person needs to be investigated. Are we on 4, I think? I think we're on page 4. It says, priests in the Catholic Church have been bound by the absolute seal of confidentiality, an obligation that requires them to keep anything learned in confessions a secret. The Archdiocese of Seattle said its policies already require priests to be mandatory reporters unless the information is received during confession. It doesn't matter. You're giving people a free rein to go and do whatever they want and then come into your place and tell you, if you're a priest, and you're supposed to just say, oh, it's okay, go do a bunch of Hail Marys and this and that, and it'll be okay. Get the hell out of here with that bullshit. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. Let me get my composure again. I'd say we all have to face the punishment and repercussions of our actions. Jesus forgives us and stay eternal judgment. If something happened and somebody makes a mistake and it's a one-time mistake and they repent for it, that's between them and God. My fear is that this is going to make it open season, that anybody's going to go into, anybody and everybody's going to start going into confessionals at churches and airing out their dirty laundry, what they've done to kids or to whoever. And there are certain places where that does come into, well, it used to come into effect. I don't know if it would, because I know back in the medieval times, you could go into a church and claim sanctuary. But I think that would have to be a law that violates a right. I don't. It gets worse. It gets worse because somebody that I actually liked is actually defending this as an attorney. So let's go to page 5 here. Page 5. The U.S. Department of Justice's Civil Rights Division has opened an investigation into the law for possible violations of the First Amendment's religious protections. SB 5375 demands that Catholic priests violate their deeply held faith in order to obey the law A violation of the Constitution and a breach of the free exercise of religion cannot stand under our constitutional system of government, Assistant Attorney General Harmeet Dillon of the DOJ Civil Rights Division said. Well, here's the thing. If somebody comes in and confesses to a priest in a Catholic church that they've done horrible things to a child, and this person goes in and keeps doing this over and over and keeps coming back and doing this to the same priest and saying, I keep doing this. I'm still doing this. I'm sorry. Even if it's a false allegation, if he's false reporting on himself, it should still be investigated. Um, Hi, Ruth. So the last slide here is the bill will go into effect on July 26th. Washington is one of just 5 states that does not explicitly or implicitly require clergy to report suspected child abuse or neglect. A federal report shows, according to Fox 13, most states exempt information obtained through confession from mandatory reporting, but Washington now joins just a handful of states that do not provide such exemptions. Did I miss something here? I think it cut part of the page off. Let me see here. All right, I'll put this back up on the screen for right now. They might get away with it in church, but the law will catch them. They will get caught. Unfortunately, when they get caught, they only would get a slap on the wrist these days. Yeah, Jay, it's sad. Abused children are treated like third-rate citizens in our country anymore. Um, DAs are more worried about going after um, the big, high-profile murder cases that are going to get their names in the paper. I'm sorry, this just really, really irks me. I would get excommunicated. I would actually turn in my robes if I was put in this position. If I was told by my church that if someone came to me and told me that they were abusing children, and they told me that I was supposed to just let them go, let them keep doing it, let them, pretend like nothing happened, I couldn't have that on my conscience. I couldn't. This comes down to moral. I want to put it. You know, morally, would it be right to not report it? I mean, seriously. Is it fair to that kid or kids to, you could have stopped somebody from hurting more people, but your church tells you you're not allowed to? That doesn't make sense to me. Hold on, I gotta catch up here. What I mean is things that are not abuse, like telling your child that there are only two genders. Oh no, yeah, no, I agree with you on that. They're talking essay and stuff like that. Um Nights. Yeah. They're talking about that. Ruth said it is abuse if they are convincing the child to be part of the society norm that are too young to know if it's true. No, I agree with you there too, Ruth. That's, yeah. Um, but I think we're talking um sexual abuse at this point. They're saying that somebody can come to you and tell you that they are essaying children or beating on children, and the priests are not allowed to report that to police. No, I just, I don't agree with it. I just, as someone who has dealt with the repercussions of having to deal with a child who's been through that, I just, no, I cannot agree to that at all. Because had they listened to me when I went the right direction, I went through law enforcement and everything, had they actually went through with everything the way they were supposed to, it was founded that this happened by 3 different departments. All the evidence was there, and the district attorney called me and said, "We're not going to press charges. We're not going to put a 4-year-old on the stand." Well, 2 years prior to that happening, the state of Pennsylvania made it so that anyone under the age of 12 can testify in a judge's chamber via video. So I called BS on that. I cannot repeat what I said to the DA. It was very bad. I was very upset. Um, and because they didn't get the monster then, the monster ended up finding other victims. Our job as parents are to protect our kids. And I just don't get it. I don't. How can you say you love your child and when somebody tells you that they're doing something to them, you don't believe them? Or at least look into it. most kids will not go. Yeah, Jay. I think if I could go back, I would go that way. I I really fight with myself over that decision that I made. Yes, I take this very personal. We are letting so many kids lose their innocence to these animals. And yes, that's what they are. They are not people, they are animals. They cannot control themselves. And for the church to back this, hi, my Fluff. Come on, get over here. Come on, Fluff, get over here, puppy. I cannot tell you the feeling that I had when my 4-year-old daughter told me things that no 4-year-old should know. Knight says you are correct. So many children will be abused and brainwashed into thinking that this is normal. It is demonic. Unfortunately, like I tell them on here all the time, Knights, this is the devil's playground. His job is to tempt us, to get us to sin, to pull us away from our God. And even as furious as I am right now, I know that I shouldn't be. I should be trying to handle it better. And I am trying. I am. If you are part of the Catholic Church, I pray that this wakes you up and helps you to leave. Any church that would agree to something like this and would allow someone to just run loose, that's evil. Jay said the devil is winning. He will keep winning until the Lord returns. Yeah. Yeah, that's what people don't understand about Revelation. They think, oh, we're in good times now. We're in good times. Christians are being persecuted more and more around the world. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Um, but yeah, we are being hunted down. We're being killed. Here in the States, where they're trying to make us into bad people. They're trying to say that we're the bad guys here. Um, I still didn't finish supper yet. I gotta go do that. But I was just so worked up, I had to come talk about it. So, I don't know. I'll post this in the Discords. Um, Jay and Ruth meet Knights. Knights is on Jar Openers Discord. He's actually a pastor. He's going to be working with us on the new channel. We're going to collab on some stuff, so it should be cool. So I'm looking forward to it. We want to get the good word out there. We want to bring more people to Christ in these times. Um, because as Jay said, it's just going to keep getting worse. And people need to be strong in their faith. They have to know what to believe and who to believe, and they have to learn discernment. And it's our job to help them with that. So, but I appreciate you coming and listening to me ramble. I hope I made sense. You know, please pray for each other, pray for our leaders, pray for the church because the church is in such a bad shape right now. Um, it really is. We've been infiltrated by the Rainbow Mafia. We've been infiltrated by Satanists. And we need to get back to the teachings of the Bible. Unless you're Ruth. Ruth is Ruth is Jewish, but we still love her. Oh my! I have to give you some crap, Pastor Todd. Yeah. So, but thanks for being here, y'all. I appreciate you. Let's see how this goes. See if we can get this out there to some people and maybe put some pressure on the church to change their mind. Because we should be protecting kids at all costs, whether people are in confession or not. So, the Old Testament is in our Bible. Yeah. Yeah, that it is. And the punishments in the Old Testament were pretty extreme. Bruce says, I see too many ex-pastors on YouTube now that are so opposite of what being a pastor should be. Yes, I have noticed that too. That Christian music artist, who you know don't believe in the gospel. I am not a pastor. I am, I'll be honest with you right there. I am just somebody who knows my Bible. I believe in God. I am saved, and I just want to help bring people to Christ. Um, you know, Atlas said that he can't find a church that fits him, that he feels that he fits in with. And I just suggested to him, I said, we can do an online church, um, grounded in what we believe the Bible means to us. And that's by, of course, getting back into the scripture, um, and discussing it together. So we're going to start doing that this Sunday at 9 a.m. Pastor Todd actually helped me revise my outline for my teaching this weekend, so I appreciate that very much. So none of us are perfect, Jay. We're all working on the same level playing field, bud. Ruth said, I have been learning all about all religions because I wanted to learn not to become a spiritual leader. Yeah, I don't know if I would call myself a spiritual leader. That's for sure. I will share my thoughts on things and talk to you about how I was taught and stuff like that. More about being submitted. I think that is that supposed to be say submissive to God, Paul, Todd. I think that's what he means, or committed maybe. But yeah, we all are works of progress. Um, I'm sorry, Fluffy's in the way again. Fluffy, I'm having a serious conversation. They're trying to see me, not you. Submitted to God. Okay, yeah. Um, surrender. Yeah, that's the one biggest thing that I don't agree with the Catholic Church on is I don't have to have a middleman. Um, Big Kitty. He's actually not the biggest one I have. I have a Maine Coon mix in the house that is huge. I'll have to see if I can get him on here. Hi, Elmo. Sorry, bud. We're just finishing up. Um, yeah, I kind of went on a rant. I just hope I was at least coherent, but I appreciate y'all. Um, and I will see you all at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning here on this channel. Yeah, if you have anything you want to talk about in the morning, you can shoot me a message on Discord, or you can call me, whatever. But I appreciate y'all. Stay strong. Remember, if you need support, you know that you how to get a hold of me. And we have our own high priest in Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's true. God bless all of you. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Again, please pray hard, because it's going to get bad. So, but I will see y'all in the morning. See you later. Love y'all.